kana.
Jashomati-nandana Brajavarunagara Gokula-nandana
Jashomati-nandana Brajavarunagara Gokula-nandana kana.
Jashomati-nandana Brajavarunagara
Gopi paranadana madana manohara.
Gopi paranadana madana manohara.
Gopi paranadana madana manohara.
Gopi paranadana madana manohara.
Kaliya damano vidana.
Kaliya damana vidhana.
Kaliya damano vidana.
Kaliya damana vidhana.
Amala harinama miya vilasa.
Amala harinama miya vilasa.
Amala harinama miya vilasa.
Amala harinama miya vilasa.
Vipina kurandara navina nagara vada Bhakti vadana subhasa.
Vipina purandara navina nagara vada Bhakti vadana subhasa.
Vipina kurandara navina nagara vada Bhakti vadana subhasa.
Vipina purandara navina nagara vada Bhakti vadana subhasa.
Sajjana palana asura kulanashana.
Sajjana palana asura kulanashana.
Sajjana palana asura kulanashana.
Sajjana palana asura kulanashana.
Nanda godana rako ala.
Nanda godana rakovala.
Nanda godana rako ala.
Nanda godana rakovala.
Govinda madhava navanita taskara.
Govinda madhava navanita taskara.
Govinda madhava navanita taskara.
Govinda madhava navanita taskara.
Sundarananda Gopala.
Sundarananda Gopala.
Sundarananda Gopala.
Sundarananda Gopala.
Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Basanohara.
Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasanohara.
Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Basanohara.
Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasanohara.
Raso Rasika Kripa Moya.
Raso Rasika Kripa Moya.
Raso Rasika Kripa Moya.
Raso Rasika Kripa Moya.
Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabara.
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 Bhakti Vinodata.
Bhakti Vinodata.
Bhakti Vinodata. Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana
Jashomati-nandana Brajavaro Nagara Gokula Ranjana
Jashomati-nandana Brajavara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana
Jashomati-nandana Brajavaro Nagara Gokula Ranjana
Amala Harina Mami Abhilasa
Amala Harina Mami Abhilasa
Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara
Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara
Sri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabara
Sri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana
Jaya
Natabara
Radhe Jai Radhe Jai Radhe Jai Radhe
Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe
Jaya Radhe Jai Radhe Jai Radhe Jai Radhe
Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Jai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaur Hari Bol
Jai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol
Jai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaur Hari Bol
Jai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaur Hari Bol
Jai Om Vishnu Hansa Paribraja Gacharja Sateras of the Sri Srimad Sri Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnu Sri Bhakti Rakhak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Bhagavan Sri Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai Jai Saparikar Sri Guru Gauranga Gandharva Rasa Bihari View Ki Jai Sri Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai Sri Rupa Guru Varga Ki Jai Sri Seva-kunj Ki Jai Sri Radha Damodar Ki Jai Sri Jiva Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Sri Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Sri Seva-kunj Ki Jai. What is the mat name?
Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat and Mission.
Say it out loud.
Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat and Mission.
No.
Oh.
The Sri Rupa-Siddhanta.
Oh, this building, Marsh.
I know what the name of the mission is.
Okay. Of Vrindavan.
Yeah.
But man, this building was given the name of Sri Rupa-Siddhanta-Sridhar Seva-kunj.
Hare Krishna.
Ki Jai. This is the building that we are in. That Guru
That's a mouthful for an Anta shade. Hare Krishna. Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Navadip Dham Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai, Ganga Devi Tumana Devi Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Om Vishnupad Vishwavarendra Srilasi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mata Charja Brinda Ki Jai, Jai Shri Bhakti Nirmala Charja Maharaj Ki Jai, Jai Shri Bhakti Bimala Maharaj Ki Jai, Jai Shri Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj Ki Jai, Jai Shri Pad Bhakti Amrit Mahavir Maharaj ki jai, Jai Srimad Hashapriya Prabhu ki jai, Guru Krishna Prabhu ki jai, Seva Vrinda ki jai, Sripad Bhakti Vigrahanyasi Maharaj ki jai, Seva Vrinda ki jai, Sripad Bhakti Pavana Tirtha Maharaj ki jai, Madhav Maharaj ki jai, Sannyasi Vrinda ki jai, Seva Vrinda ki jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gau Premanande.
Jai Srila Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi.
So, Srila Guru Maharaj, he said that one gentleman asked why the Rupanuga, why all the emphasis on Srila Rupa Goswami, Sri Rupa Manjari. Because there's, as we saw the other day in Seva-kunj, Lalita Saki, and of course Srimati Radharani herself. But why all this emphasis on Sri Rupa? And in a line, in a sentence, Srila Guru Maharaj's response was, he said, extreme possibility of gain. That is the principle involved. There are many details and many things can be discussed or described, but expressed most succinctly, said extreme possibility of gain. So then we have to understand what is extreme, what is possibility, and what is gain, because all of these things could be defined in different ways. So, when Srila Bhakti-siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was inaugurating his publication called the Harmonist magazine, in the inaugural issue, he referenced another publication by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur called the Sajjan-toshani. That was the name. And he was explaining, how do you go from Sajjan-toshani to the Harmonist? Or how do you harmonize this? And showing how we should understand the connection. And he took this opportunity to define Sajjan-toshani. So, first, sat. Sat, we hear sat-cid-ananda and om tat sat, and in many ways the word sat is used in Sanskrit language and still up to including today. But Srila Saraswati Thakur would say, it means the supreme absolute truth. And although we say, Brahma says in the beginning of the Brahma Sangita, Ishvara Parama Krishna sat-cid-ananda vigraha anadir Govinda sarva karana karanam, that Ishvara Parama Krishna, there may be many Ishwaras. Ishvara often translated as controller, but really it means God. That's the easiest way to understand this word. Ishvara means God. Right? So Ishvara, paramesvara means the supreme God. We were told the other day, there are so many devata, also means God. Or we hear India, the land, gods and goddesses. Mark Twain says, when it comes to religion, India is the only millionaire. He's a humorist. But what he's alluding to is, 33 million gods, or so many gods, or, they're making more gods as we speak, and goddesses. And that's not just a flip remark, Santoshima. They make a Bollywood movie about some non-existent goddess, show a method of puja. All over India, people are doing like Santoshima puja. simple-hearted people, as Gurudev would say. So, Krishna is known as Deva Deva, the gods' God. Who do the gods worship? That's important. In Krishna, it says in the beginning, Muhyanti Atsuraya, in the very first sloka of the Bhagavatam, which is the book of Krishna. It's the book to understand Krishna. On the first page, in the first sloka, it says, even the gods are bewildered trying to understand Krishna. So what to speak of you who might not be a god or a goddess? Of course, in your own way. You know? Even if you are, Muhyanti Yatsuraya, the gods are bewildered. And what does that hint at? What will come later in the Bhagavatam? Brahma Vimohan Lila. Brahma, he's bewildered. Mohini Murti bewilders Shiva. Indra Mohan. Indra is bewildered. And the Govardhan Lila, which is coming soon. So it's all on theme. This is not a random collection of folklore. Right? That's just been passed down by the simple-hearted folks of Varsha over the millennia. Right? It's a systematic presentation of divinity and going in a particular direction. When I first came in connection with Krishna consciousness, and Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and he had a book called the Krishna Book, which was the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Because one might wonder, this is the book about Krishna, and it culminates in presenting and expressing the pastimes of Radha and Krishna and the Braja Gopis in Vrindavan. But it's 10 cantos before you get there. And that's not coincidental or arbitrary. In other words, it requires 10 cantos prerequisite, 9 cantos prerequisite to get to this point. Because I used to think, if this is the ultimate point, why wait to express it? Because you're likely to misunderstand it if you don't have some background understanding about who is Krishna, what is God, what are avatars, what is the creation. Many things need to be understood first, so that when the pastimes, the play of the sweet absolute comes, it will not be misunderstood. And as Guru Maharaj said in another context, still it is misunderstood. Even though our charges, they're, painstakingly trying to present this in such a way as it cannot be misunderstood, still it is misunderstood. So it's that critical and careful understanding. Shraddhan Vito Anushranaya Datavarnayedyak has to be understood. Proper line from the proper people. Gurudev compared it to homeopathy. Because it said, Hrid Rogam, this is the cure. This is the medicine, the cure for heart disease, which is what we're suffering from. Hrid Rogam, Kam, Lobha, Matsarja, etc. But Gurudev, he said, yes, because others say, then why don't you why are you saying before you take this medicine, so many things have to be considered? He said, just like homeopathy, you have to identify the medicine, but then the, the potency of that medicine, and then the dosage. He said, and he added that, and your time for healing must have arrived. He added that to that. Not only the medicine, the potency, the dosage, but the timing has to be correct. That was his explanation for that. And we know, what is it? Heart medicine is nitroglycerin, right? If someone says, hey, that's the medicine, then give me a bottle of it. Let's be slamming nitro shots. Probably not a good idea. Right? Yes, it's the medicine, but it has to be given by the qualified physician in the right amount at the right time. That's what I mean. Care and guidance, not self-medicating, right? But under the guidance of an expert. So, and we're in good company. That the peculiar nature of trying to conceive properly Krishna and Krishna Lila. Muhyanti Yatsuraya, even the gods will be bewildered. So Brahma, after his Vimohan, Brahma Vimohan Lila says, Jnane prayasamudapasana eva jivanti sanmukharitam bhavadiyavartam stane stita shrutikatam tanavan manobhir ye prayaso jita jito piyasi taistrilokyam. Give up trying to, like Blake's You Reason, trying to measure the infinite by finite means. Give up trying to measure him with your intellect and your mind. Then how to understand? Stani stita shruti gatam tanuvan manobhya. Wherever you are in life, whatever your situation is, begin by hearing from Krishna's devotees. Those who have love and affection, genuine for Krishna, hear from them, and within their descriptions, miraculously, mysteriously, the Lord himself is present. And through the medium of transcendental sounds will enter your heart, reclaim your heart, and establish the supremacy of Krishna conception there. Pravishta karna randrena swanam bhavam suroruham dunoti shamalam Krishna shaliyasya yata sharat. But back to the beginning. Janmadyasya yataha. It's told Veda is like the kalpataru, the mythical kalpavriksha, desire tree. Right? The tree that fulfills all of your desires. It's very interesting that it's compared to that. Because then we think, like, all of my desires? Yes. You mean even mundane desires? Yes. It tells you how to fulfill your mundane desires. Oh, give me 5 copies, I'll share it with my friends. But it said all desires. Then you mean like even spiritual desires? Yes. Very specific spiritual desires? Yes. So it fulfills all desires? Yes. That's why it's called kalpavriksha. Right? But just like a mango tree, if you see a mango tree without mangoes, right? And many foreigners have this experience because we don't know from what's a mango tree. Right? People in India, everybody knows what a mango tree is, but we don't. We come, they look at some tree and they go, "That's a mango tree," and you go, "Really? Where are the mangoes?" You go, "It's not seasoned yet." Oh, but like a mango tree, you could get shade from a mango tree. You could decide for your own purpose to chop down the mango tree, make some furniture, or you could decide to build a fire, use it as firewood. It can be used in many different ways, but that may not be its actual purpose. You may use it for your own purpose that may not be in sync with its ultimate purpose and its ultimate expression. And we know, what is that? It produces the mango. And actually, if you use it for these other purposes, however ill-conceived, you're not going to get the actual fruit of the mango tree, which is what it was meant to deliver all along. So it's the mango, the nectarine juice of the mango. That's what the mango tree is for. Now, someone who knows that, even when they see a mango tree that doesn't have mangoes on it, they still know that this is where it's going. The whole system, the water's coming up, the trunk, the leaves of the tree, it will ultimately produce this fruit because they know it's a mango tree. And that's what it does. And we're willing to wait until that fruit comes because it's so relishable, it's incomparable, There's nothing like it. Just be patient. You water the mango tree, you take care of the mango tree, and ultimately the mangoes will come, and everyone will enjoy that sweet nectarine substance. It's like that. When people look at the Vedas, they're saying like, oh, there's a Veda for this, a Veda for that. There's a Veda for everything, right? Because it's the Kalpa-vriksha. But what is it meant to produce ultimately? That we need to know. So, and the Vedanta, which is revealing, pointing in the direction, right where where everything is going, siddhantically, spiritually, it's compared to a flower. Right? So that tree, again, mango trees have flowers too. And like we know, we're talking about essential oils and things. They're called floral essences. They have the essence of the tree in a flower. And then there's some people extract from the flower, whatever. But that flower is the floral essence of the tree. And a very beautiful and wonderful thing. Still, it is not the fruit. But it is the flower. And it's also indicative. If someone has the capacity from the floral essence, they'll understand also where this is going. So Vedanta has been compared to the flower from the Kalpa-vriksha of Veda. But still, what about the fruit? So, and there we see in the first sloka of the Bhagavatam, Sambandha Gyan sloka, Janmadyasya Yaton Vayad Iturtas Char Ateshu Vigyasvat. Vedanta says just Janmadyasya Yataha. Only this one thing. How should we understand God, divinity, the infinite, the absolute, from which everything is coming? That's for starters. Right? And you say, well, there's a lot of things. Everything means a lot of different things. Yes, everything comes from there. Everything, like including gender, like male, female. Yes, everything is coming from there. Right? Janmadyasya taha. The Upanishads say, Yato va imani bhutani jayante. That from which everything is coming. So this doesn't sound like religion, stereotypical, conventional religion. I don't see why a scientist would object to that, saying that from which everything is coming. They're also studying that, studying the same thing. But so they're hinting at and pointing you in a particular direction. So the Bhagavatam comes again with this statement. And the first three, Janmad Yasya Yataha, from which everything is born or coming from. Janma, but it says Janma Adi. Adi means etc., like birth, growth, death, everything. But Vishwanath Chakrabarti, whom Samadhi we visited the other day on the disappearance day of Narottam Thakur, he is always extracting the ultimate substance from because he's a supreme Paramahansa Vaishnava. So he says, the word Adi is a particular note to him because it also means the original, but it also means adi-rasa. What is this book about, the Bhagavatam? Is it some sort of a philosophical treatise? Guru said, no, it's taking us from philosophy to the domain of rasa. That's its purpose. It's not just a book for intellectuals or academics, that's not what it's about. Otherwise, why would it culminate in presenting the pastimes of Krishna and the Braja Gopis in Vrindavan? But it needs to take you from that plane, right? So he says, so since the whole book is about rasa, that's what it is. Right? That's its purpose. Has no, well, there's all these interesting descriptions about creation. That's just to get you on board and start. They want to take you to the domain of rasa. If that fascinates you, we've got more than enough explanation of how universes are created and mind-blowing visuals, that are compelling and happen to be reality, photographs of reality in a sense. So the visual representations of reality. But he's saying adi-rasa. This adi indicates adi-rasa, saying the original rasa. What is that? It is madhura-rasa. Right? Now we hear generally the sequence of Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhura. So Shanta, passive, neutral, like we're told. The ground, the flowers, the cows, the trees, there's gradation there as well. The bees. Remember, but the bees in Vrindavan are Mahabhagavatas. So we're told in the Bhagavatam, sometimes the chief bee, like starts singing Harikatha, like his mouth is dripping with nectar of Krishna Katha, and he's singing and dancing, and everyone's watching him, including Krishna and Balaram. They're going, Baba! And he's madly singing, and all the other bees are dancing. That's Vrindavan. So don't think, oh, Shantarasa is nothing. No. Barhapidam natabara bahukane okane kanam vibrat basa kanaka kapisam vai jayantim kamalam randram venur dhaya sudhaya puram gopa vrinde brindaranyam swapara ramanam pravishad gita kirti. Told the earth is shivering in conjugal ecstasy at the touch of the lotus feet of Krishna. So we should not underestimate Shantarasa. But still, it's by analysis these things are said, revealed by Rupa Goswami, whom we are here to glorify. So above that, Dasya Rasa, servitorship, which is where all the other religions of the world retire. That's as far as they go. And which is a wonderful thing, master and servant, and the gopis are worshiping Hanuman. We want to have the type of fidelity that you have to your Lord Ram. Please bless us that we can have that for our Krishna. So Dasya Rasa, in one sense, it's supreme. It's at the heart of everything, right? But Rupa Goswami says, but Sakya Rasa includes Shanta and Dasya, and then as an element of friendship, means equality. And this is where things start get interesting for Krishna. He's saying, like, how charming it is that a finite thinks he's equal to the infinite, and not out of delusional arrogance, but on account of love and affection. Has so much love and affection, he forgot that I'm God. Like Arjuna says at one point, like, after he sees the Virata Rupa, like, please forgive me, we used to sit on the same bed together, and Krishna saying, no, I like that. Keep doing that. Don't stop doing that, just because I did this. Forget this. You didn't see it. Just forget it. I like when we're like that. But Arjuna's like, when he becomes aware of Krishna's majestic aspect, he's apologetic. And we said, this revealed in the Chaitanya Charitamritam, that where Krishna is speaking very candidly about his position, saying, the whole world is mad after my fragrance, and otherwise. Right? He's Govinda, said adi-rasa Govinda, the original paramesvara Krishna. He's Govinda. He is the delight of the senses. The most beautiful thing you can see, hear, taste, touch, smell, feel. That's Govinda. He's not an abstract, absentee Lord. What was I saying? Oh, about rasa. So normally, we see like Garuda, right? The giant eagle carrier of Vishnu and Krishna. And you could think how happy that is. He has either Vishnu or Krishna on his shoulders, and he's flying. Sometimes Krishna and Rukmini, Satyabhama. And so has the Lord, he can feel the weight of the Lord on his shoulders. He's flying so happily. The carrier of the Lord. What is it? Vahana. But Krishna revealed in Chaitanya Charitamritam, he's saying, sometimes when I'm with that's Dasya Rasa again, like Hanuman, Garuda. And a wonderful thing, inconceivably wonderful, to carry the Lord around on your shoulders. But Krishna says, when I am playing with my friends who think they're my equal, like sometimes we're wrestling, and they're saying like, sizing up the infinite, saying, I think I could take you 2 out of 3. Oh, really? Yeah. Okay, no cheating. And then they defeat Krishna. The omnipotent is defeated. And we're told by Rupa Goswami, that's devotion. That's how you measure devotion, where the infinite is defeated by the finite. He comes under the control of the finite. Why? Because they're stronger than him? No, he's omnipotent. But by the power of their love and devotion. Like this is the month of Damodar. Yashoda says in the song, what is it? Yashoda biolukaladavamanam param vishtamatyanto drutya gopya namamishwaram sat-cid-ananda rupam lasat kundalam gokule brajamanam. So Yashoda, and Damodar, Krishna, what do you mean? Means who? Udara means your belly, who's bound on the belly. Why? Because she is. You think, why is she doing this? We say sometimes mothers do that. Like their kids are getting in trouble, they put them on a leash. They still do that. I've seen it at the airport. A woman like walking a kid with a leash. Had mixed feelings about it. But I said, oh well, Yashoda and Krishna. So they're saying like, I'll just tie him to something that doesn't move, like a grinding mortar, very heavy, probably weighs 50 kilos or something. Tie him to that, and then he can circle around and not get into trouble. That's what she's thinking. It's out of concern for him, that type of love and affection. And so you say, how can you be thinking that way about the omnipotent Supreme Lord, who in his spare time expansions, universes come out of the pores of his body, but by the mercy and influence of Yogamaya, she can think like that. His supremacy is far in the background. So just thinking the welfare of her child. In fact, we're told when Yashoda hears rumors about Krishna's divinity, that some people say he's because of all these miraculous things he does, like we sang in the song, that he's some kind of a devata, a god. Or some say he's God himself, Deva. And what does Yashoda say? These are vicious rumors started by envious people. So then you tell me, what is preaching Krishna consciousness? We're trying to make a case for Krishna's supremacy and divinity, and Yoda's saying, I'll slap your face if you say that around me. So she's in another zone, right? That's a vicious rumor. He's my son. And these envious people say he's God, or God of gods, but he's my boy. That shows Vatsalya Rasa. I have a wonderful son, and they're trying and saying, he's not my son. He's the son of Vasudeva and Devaki. These people are crazy. Where did this come from, this idea? And you say, oh, I don't want to hear it. So intense is her love and devotion. But we're told she's trying to bind Krishna, the infinite. And what happens? Every time It says dui anguli, means 2 fingers too short. The rope goes like this, 2 fingers too short. So she adds more rope, what? 2 fingers too short. More rope, 2 fingers too short. But what Krishna's looking at her and seeing, she's very absorbed in what she's doing. She's not looking at him. She's like concentrating how to do this. And he sees while she's doing it, like some sweat is starting to come on her face, flowers falling out of her hair. He sees how dedicated she is to achieving this, seemingly ignoring him. And it melts the heart of Krishna. So then Krishna allows the rope to come together. And then we're told by the acharyas, he is bound by the ropes of love and affection. So because of the love and affection of Yashoda, he is bound. Not by, the other part is to say, not by your own attempt or your, no, if we add more to that, we'll achieve the infinite. No, Guru Maharaj said, no amount of finite will ever equal the infinite. He reminds us, he sleeps on a bed of infinite. And that rope is Anantadev, who is infinite. So, Krishna says, so when my devotees, my friends, challenge me and defeat me, then the loser, has to take the victor on his shoulders. So he say, you can't imagine how happy I am when I've got a devotee on my shoulders and I'm flying. Like Garuda's so happy to fly with me on his shoulders, I'm flying when I've got a devotee on my shoulders. I'm telling that to you now. That's more charming to me. It could seem offensive to certain people. Right? So Yashoda, when sadhus come to their house, she takes the dust from their feet and puts it on Krishna's head. You could think, like, that's not a good thing to do, you know, if you're the sadhu. But she's thinking like that. All these things are possible in Krishna Lila. So then, now Krishna's taking us in a particular direction, revealing, speaking candidly about his feelings. So he's taking us to Sakya-rasa. Then he says that he goes further when he uses the word Bhartsan, means to curse someone. He said, when my beloved Srimati Priya, Radharani, in our love affairs exchange, somehow, like Guru Maharaj said, sometimes there is an offense, sometimes there's no offense, but offense is taken. And she's very upset with Krishna, and she curses him and says something that would sound to others as offensive. He's saying, that is so sweet to my ears that it distracts me from the reverential hymns of the Vedas. So consider that. The Vedas are saying how great Krishna is. You, by your infinite mercy, you expand yourself into so many avatars, incarnations. Yuga after yuga, you appear, you save the fallen souls. How great you are, how wonderful you are. And Radharani is saying, you are the acharya of despicable behavior. Leave. That's the kind of, you're an acharya of despicable behavior. And the other side, Krishna coming in and saying, I'm sorry, your call is important to us, but not now. He said, what if you're told, your services do not allow Krishna in? That's your service for today, is to send Krishna away. So that the Krishna world, everything shifts and the opposite. And Krishna is saying, when she's chastising me, I can't hear the Vedas. It's so sweet what she's saying, all this praise, it doesn't do much for, it's good for you, but not for me. I like hearing her curse me. And Guru Maharaj, to show you the quality of disciples of Srila Bhakti-siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that the Bengali word is galagal. That means to like, in a very bad way, like to curse and insult someone. So someone told Keshava Maharaj once that Guru Maharaj might have said something, whatever, and he said, if Srila Sridhar Maharaj gives me galagal, if he curses me, he said, I accept it as Veda. That's like, and no ego. If he says that, then it's a good thing. Whatever comes from the Vaishnava is good for me. Showing that same thread. That's why I'm in that same connecting thread. We cannot have a stereotype about how we think. So we've entered into not only madhura-rasa, we're told then there's, swakiya parakiya, wedded love, and paramour relationship. Rupa Goswami's specialty is the paramour, parakiya. And we think these are very high things, and they are, but Guru Maharaj could relate it to our lives. And he said like in Vedic culture, and this may sound like in the modern world like politically incorrect or sexist or whatever, it's just a story, okay, about the way things used to be. So don't mind it. But he's saying in Vedic culture, the husband has some right to assert himself over the wife. Right? Now I know this sounds like ancient history. It is. Because Guru Maharaj said, once you sign a contract, there's no question of love. Like, these are my rights, those are your rights. Love has left the building. But anyway, so he has some right to assert over the wife. Right? Guru Maharaj said, this is like karmic circumstances. Because we've done so many things in this world and in life, karmas come a-collecting. Right? We owe something. He said, but like that wife, that if she has a paramour, right, a lover who is not her husband, saying the demands of the husband, the wife, and in the words of Rupa Goswami, she is even more attentive to not arouse suspicion. So Srila Guru Maharaj says, the devotee, the aspiring servitor, karmic circumstances has certain demands upon us. He said, like that wife, we make a show of fulfilling those obligations, those external karmic obligations that are being asserted. We're addressing that. He said, but really in our hearts, we're given over to the paramour, who in this case is Krishna conception. Just like that wife, she's more attentive to the household duties, not to arouse suspicion, but really in her heart is given over to the paramour. The devotee, the aspiring servitor, has to address the karmic demands of karmic circumstance, but really it's a superficial play. In their heart, they're given over to Krishna. And now we've come to the point, so that world, parakiya, that Yashoda and others participate in, because why? That sense of the other. They say, he's not your son, he's the son of someone else. That's making her affection more intense. The cowherd boys say to one another, there are people who say Gopal is not one of us. They're going, what? They're saying he's some kind of a god, or maybe even God himself. Gopal? You're kidding. No, our Gopal. Yes, our Gopal. Our Gopal, who talks so much nonsense, who does so many naughty things. He's some kind of a god, or right? People are crazy. They say stuff. Forget it. So there's always this sense like he's not. They're threatened by the possibility that he's something else, belongs to another, whatever. But their love and affection is so great, it can't be broken by that. When in that song, when Yashoda, we know Krishna, he's been accused of eating earth, right? And the play, the childhood play, the Balaram, the way they go, Krishna, they go to Yashoda, Krishna's eating earth, so that his mother will chastise him, right? So she calls Krishna and says, the boy, they say that you're eating earth, you know. And Krishna saying, that's not true. Just we're playing, and because they can't defeat me, they're making up stories and lies, and they want to get me in trouble with you. But it's not true. And in fact, being the kind of honest person that I am, you can look at my mouth and see if I've eaten any earth or not, for yourself. I know you probably believe me just because you have faith, but you can look inside and see whether I've eaten any earth or not. Right? We know then Krishna opens his mouth and she sees the earth planet, right? And the solar system, and the Milky Way, and universes, many universes. And she's she's seeing this, and it's going down into the udara, his belly, and seeing all these things, and Krishna holding his mouth and, Mother, you see any earth or not? And she's astonished to see this, and only momentarily she's thinking, it's by the influence of Yoga Maya, I'm thinking I'm his mother, he's my son, what's going on here? And then Guru said, a cat goes, meow, and Krishna becomes afraid, and then grabs Yashoda's sari for shelter. And then she thinks, some crazy hallucination I had. He's my boy. She forgets about that. So, why did I say that? Because, what was said before that? Oh, in these pastimes, Damodar, Vatsalya Rasa, Parakiya, the sense of the other. So it's not limited to what we think, Radharani and Vrajagopi. That is where it reaches its zenith point. So, back to Chakravarti Thakur. So he's saying the first, Janmadhyasya yataha, saying adi-rasa, madhura-rasa. It's not only the culmination of all the others, but it includes all the others, and all the others are actually satellites of madhura-rasa. Madhura-rasa is the original. So Radha and Krishna are at the center. So Saraswati Thakur said, Sat means the supreme absolute truth. Although we say, is Krishna alone? He's saying, but Krishna is not alone. That Krishna, who is the supreme absolute truth alone, he is not alone. It is Radha and Krishna. As much there is Krishna, the supreme positive, the supreme negative, predominated moiety, Srimati Radharani, she is the counterpart to Krishna. Together they are the supreme absolute truth. And the Sajjan means who they consider theirs. Many people may consider them, but whom do they consider belong to them? Who are their devotees that they think of as ours? Sajjan. He's saying that means the devotees are Guru Varga. Radha and Krishna claim them as their own. They feel like they're ours. They belong to us. Right? As Radharani took Saraswati Thakur up couldn't tolerate being separated from him anymore. So Sajjan-toshani, he said, Toshani means to please. We're trying to please those whom Radha and Krishna consider their own. That's the point. That's our focus. Whom they consider their own, we're trying to serve them and their servants and their servants' servants. So Why not Radha or Lalita? Why Sri Rupa? Guru Maharaj said, extreme possibility of extreme gain, extreme possibility of gain. That, as we mentioned, that we're here in Vrindavan, but Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that Saraswati Thakur told him that Bhaktivinoda said, we all know Vrindavan, that is for the bogus people, you know. And then he said, because it's a Bengali word, but it also means like hollow, like something that's not solid, but hollow, or in the sense shallow. And then we think like, this is very bewildering. Muhyanti Yatsuraya. Srila Guru Maharaj himself said, when Saraswat, he said, our Guru Maharaj's statements were mostly revolutionary. Not like occasionally, you know, he's saying mostly. So, and these are men who were familiar with Krishna consciousness, often by birth, or Sanskritians, you know, high sanskar, born in the land of Mahaprabhu. And Saraswati Thakur is saying these things that just blow everybody's minds, and they're not sure how to respond. And they're discussing among themselves, like, how to understand this. So when Saraswati Thakur said that, Guru Maharaj said, I fell as if from the top, out of the top of a tree. That was his saying. Imagine that. You're in a high tree and you slip and fall out of the tree onto the... He said, that's how I felt when he said this. Vrindavan's for the bogus shallow hunt. What does he mean? But it's in a context. And what he means to say is that, you know, Milan and Viraha, union and separation, and culminating in what Guru Maharaj's original concept, union in separation. So Vrindavan's famous as the land of union. The Bhagavatam in the 10th canto ultimately presents that. When I asked Guru Maharaj, I just read the 12th canto and the last chapter, it's very short, it's like 23 slokas. So you think, well, every verse must be pretty significant. The Bhagavatam's concluding. And there was this verse there about the Kurma avatar. And I was thinking, it's a beautiful pastime, the churning of the Kir Sagar, the nectar ocean, and then Mohini Murti and Shiva drink, you know, all. But why at the end of the Bhagavatam? That's peculiar. And it's in that last chapter, it's like the second or third verse. So it's in a prominent position. So I asked Srila Guru Maharaj about that. And you could see, he started scanning all the scriptures and the statements of the great Acharjas and his Guru Maharaj and Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And he came up with something original. It's not, there was like a pat answer you give to this question and I will now give that. He was churning and coming out with this. And in a very interesting way, he said, what is the object of their churning? Right? For those who just came from Thailand to here on this trip, when you cross immigration, you see this pastime. This is the preeminent pastime of Southeast Asia. It's as if they've stumbled upon the ultimate reality, you know, because you think, why this? Of all the past, why is this at Angkor Wat on all the walls? If it's not special and indicating the highest substance. So Guru Maharaj said, what is the object of their churning? And so we will say, Amrita. Right? But so people say, yes, we want to live forever. Like the Greek story where the person asked to live forever, but forgot to say, and be young. You know. So, Amrita. And what is the word Amrita? Like Badal Prabhu in Calcutta, his name is actually Mrityunjoy, but they call him Badal Prabhu. It's Bengal, But what does that mean? Mrityu means death. Amrita means that which helps you overcome death. So, deathless or immortal, all those things. And isn't that what the asuras, they always want? That's the problem. They get everything going right in your life, right? A lot of likes on Facebook, good selfies on Instagram. You got, Apple Pay. Everything's working, But you have to die. That's the thing you have to deal with. So, of course, the answer to this is obvious. Google, right? Because they will say, someone said to them, with all your algorithm and everything, could you cure cancer? And he said, we're working on it, but if we do, it'll extend the life duration of people by 5 to 7 years. He said, how about if we cure death? I'm not making this up. He said, that's actually what we're working on. And if we told you in the beginning, it would have been a little, you would think we're like a bunch of mad scientists. But actually we are. We are a bunch of mad scientists. And what we're trying to do is cure death. I'm not making this up. I'm embellishing a little. Right? But my point is there. Consistently, this is the target of asuras. How you got to deal with this. How do you escape mortality? Everyone's got to deal with it, right? So in the Vedic term called Amrita, it's supposed to be this nectarine substance. You drink it, and then you live forever. But as Sukadev says in the Bhagavatam, what's the value of just living forever if you don't have quality of life? And quality of life spiritually, because he's saying the trees, there are trees in California that are 5,000 years old. You can drive your car through it and take some incredible selfies with a 5,000-year-old tree. Right? But without consciousness or Krishna consciousness, what is the value of this prolonged life? Sukadev says it. What are the value of the eyes if they don't see Krishna? The ears if we don't hear the holy name? The tongue if we don't taste the prasadam? All these things. Radharani reiterates the same thing. So, those asuras, they're on one side. The devas are on the other side. And they're churning the Mandara hill. And what's coming out? The Chandra moon. The Lakshmi Devi. What's that telling you? Lakshmi Devi, Sri is going to have, there's going to be rasa with the Chandra Vangsha person, Krishna. It's a hint where this is going. But on the other side, the suras, the devatas. But they're also want to live longer and forever. But again, but for why? What's the reason? So Jiva Goswami saying, heaven's not the best place to be, the earth is. Too much distraction and swarga. Loka. Here you can pursue Krishna culture. So Guru Maharaj said, what is the object of their churning? They want to achieve nectar, Amrita. But what is the Bhagavatam a book about immortality? How to achieve eternal life and do with it what you will. No, the Bhagavatam is a book about rasa. And more specifically, madhura-rasa. Right? So he's saying what it is telling us and why this verse is mentioned here is because the ultimate nectarine substance, Amrita, is madhura-rasa. That's why that verse is there. And that's why this pastime is given. That's why he's, Om Vishnu Pad, Srila Bhakti Rakak, Sridhar Dev Goswami. And so the representative, the Rupa Nugadara, and the line of Srila Bhakti-siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So he's saying, so this place, this is the land of rasa, Vrindavan, and the pastimes of union of Radha and Krishna and Braja Gopis. You think, all right, what could be better than that? Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra? You mean like the Bhagavad Gita? No. not like Bhagavad Gita. Kurukshetra what? Where Radha and Krishna, when Krishna, Dwarka Krishna meets Radharani and the Braja Gopis. Why? Because service, according to the intensity of its necessity, draws remuneration. So where is service reach its necessity zenith point? In separation. That's when Radharani needs assistance from her servitors the most. After 100 years of separation from Krishna, those who cannot tolerate the blinking of an eye, now he's before them. She needs service, assistance from her servitors. So, Guru Maharaj is saying, the Sakis, the friends of Radharani, they're of similar age, and in that sense, they can be also competitors for the affection of Krishna. In their presence, Radharani cannot be fully, what is the word, herself with Krishna. She's somewhat reticent. But the junior group, led by Sri Rupa Manjari, Sri Rupa Goswami, they're non-competitive. And due to their younger age, even when Radha and Krishna are alone, they can come and render service to them. That's inconceivable. So Guru Maharaj is saying, the possibility of extreme gain, what you could not achieve on your own. Radha and Krishna, in their most private moments, Sri Rupa group can come and render service at that time. And what does Guru Maharaj say? Then, although Mahabhav, what's in the heart of Radharani alone, what she alone experiences, and Mahaprabhu experiences, because Radha Bhava Duti Subalita, it's beyond the constitutional capacity of a jiva soul to experience this. Out of gratitude to her servitors, Radharani, Guru Maharaj said, has a plate of Mahabhav and says, here, taste what we're tasting. It's impossible. But she's saying, taste what we're tasting. And Srila Guru Maharaj said, once you have had a taste of that divine substance, what to speak of all other tastes, but all other rasas become tasteless. So therefore, it is Sri Rupa and the Rupa-nuga line, because of the possibility of extreme gain, extreme possibility for extreme gain. Hare Krishna. What time is it?
8:10.
There we go. Hare Krishna. Jai Sri Rupa Goswami Prabhu ki Jai, Sri Seva-kunj ki Jai, Sri Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Seva Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Yes, yes, yes.
And the monkeys are listening.
Yes. Hare Krishna. Suk and Sari. Those parrots like that, describe.
The door. Please.
The
Emergency.
When Mahaprabhu came to Vrindavan, those parrots, they come and light on his fingers. A female parrot on one finger, the male parrot on the other finger. And the male parrot starts singing in beautiful Sanskrit about the glories, beauty of Krishna. Saying, my Krishna, he is Madan Mohan, everyone is attracted to him, he's irresistible. Suk is the name of that parrot. The other parrot, Sari, she says, yes, but he's only like that when he's next to my Radharani. Then he's so beautiful, so charming, so seductive. Only when he's next to her and Mahaprabhu's listening. So he says, but he's Madan Mohan. And he says, but she's Madan Mohan Mohini. So the female parrot, she defeats the male parrot. So Jai Sri Radhe, Srimati Radharani, Kartik Mas ki Jai. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. 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 Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan.
Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan.
Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan.
Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan.
Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra.
Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra.
Radharani Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Radharani Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath.
Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath.
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath.
Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath.
Echai Gochai Kori Charana Bandhan.
Echai Gochai Kori Charana Bandhan.
Jaha Hoite Vignanas Abhishta Puran.
Jaha Hoite Vignanas Abhishta Puran.
Echai Gochai Jar Mui Taro Das.
Echai Gochai Jar Mui Taro Das.
Antavara Padarenu Mona Panchagran.
Antavara Padarenu Mona Panchagran.
Tandara Charana Sevi Bhakta Saneva.
Tandara Charana Sevi Bhakta Saneva.
Janame Janame More Abhilas.
Janame Janame More Abhilas.
Echai Gochai Jabe Braje Kwelovan.
Echai Gochai Jabe Braje Kwelovan.
Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korilo Prakash.
Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korilo Prakash.
Anande Boro Hari Bhaja Vrindavan.
Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Aman.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Aman.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas.
Harinam Sankirtan Koe Narotamadan.
Harinam Sankirtan Koe Narotamadan.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol.
Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol.
Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Saprika Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandhava Rasa Vihari Juki Jai Navadip Saprika Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandhava Govinda Sunda Juki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gurudev Srila Bhakti Sunda Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Guru Maharaj Srila Bhakti Rapak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki
Jai.
Bhagavan Srila Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswat Thakur Ki Jai Jai Sri Rupa Guru Vaga Ki Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai Jai Sri Rupa Goswami Ki Jai Sri Rupa Goswami's Bhajan Kuchi Ki Jai
Jai.
Rupa Goswami's Samadhi Ki Jai Jai Sri Jiva Goswami Ki Jai Sri Jiva Goswami's Samadhi Ki Jai Jai Sri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai Sri Krishna Das Kaviraj Samadhi Ki Jai Sri Murgava Goswami Ki Jai Sri Guru Goswami's Samadhi Ki Jai Jai Sri Radha Damaraju Ki Jai Sri Radha Vrindavan Chandra,
Chandra.
Shri Radha Madhava, Shri Radha Chayal Chikan, and Shri Sanatana Goswami's Govardhan Shila ki jai. Jai Shri A.C. Bhakti-Siddhanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Shri A.C. Bhakti-Siddhanta Swami Prabhupada Bhajan Kutir ki jai. Jai Shri Imlitala ki jai. Shri Radha Madana Mohan ki jai. Shri Radha Govinda ki jai. Shri Radha Gopinath ki jai. Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Parikrama ki jai. Jai Shri Kartik Mash Vrata ki jai. Jai Shri Kartik Vrindavan Parikrama ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Many things we can say. Jai Srila Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj ki jai. And Jai Srila Bhakti Amrita Mahavir Maharaj ki jai. All this Shri Sannyasi Varga ki jai. Bhakti Vrinda ki jai. Assembled devotees ki jai. Unassembled devotees ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol.
Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki jai. Go Premananda.